Egypt was one of the most unique places in the world. Uh, Egypt's agriculture is extremely important. And this is not coincidence. There are two important things that makes this extremely important. First, sun. Second, water. Uh, Most places in the world has one of them, but not two of them together. For instance, in Northern Europe, there's a lot of water, but most of the time it's cloudy. And in some places in the earth, for instance, like deserts in Arabia, there are a lot of sun, but not just enough water. But Egypt had both. It has both water and sunlight. And water did not come from the rain. It came from faraway places, from Ethiopian highlands and middle of the Africa. So while there is water, there was not any cloud, year-long sun, and this make agriculture extremely easy. And while there are some other agricultural places in the world, like in Iraq, rivers, and in India there are monsoon rains, those are not predictable. Monsoon rains might come too early, too late, or sometimes it might bring too much water. In Iraq too, rivers are wild. They were irregular. In Egypt, the water came regularly, and it flowed. Sometimes it flowed irregularly. So most of the farmlands become underwater, and it being black soil, middle of the Africa, and those black soil act like a fertilizer. So Egypt, without requiring heavy equipment, they can produce extra products like wheat and barley. And those products were not just enough to feed Egypt, but to export or save up for next year. For public granaries they collected by the Egyptian government. Egypt's only important was not the agriculture. It has unique position in the international trade. Most important from the India. From India, Egypt brought a lot of spices, but journey was too long. In most of the time, not a single ship owner traveled from the India to Egypt. There was few traders. Some people travel from the ship to one place. Some people travel to another port, and so on. In Ptolemaic Egypt, first time people learned monsoon winds, and they were predictable. They went from one they blow same months of the year to one direction, and several months of the year another direction. When sailors learn this, they start to make journey from the Egypt and India in one ship, with one ship. Later, in Roman times, there was not just one fish. Romans really improved trade, and there was hundreds of ships coming to the Egypt. We know Arabs' richness, the stories of the Aladdin and stories of the Sinbad. Those riches come from this trade from between Egypt and India, and Arabs were intermediates. Inside Egypt, rivers was extremely important with travel from one side of the Egypt to another. Rivers flow from the north to south to north. But another important thing was wind. Wind blew from the south to north. So Egyptian ships could travel along inside Nile River from both direction easily. This sea transportation is extremely important because we always thought in antique world travel was easy. Not always. There are horses, camels, but inland, especially long distance, they are not profitable and efficient. In short distance, of course, you can use horses and camels and carry stuff, but you must think camels and horses, big animals. They eat a lot. You can consider in the long distance they might eat more than they carry. In the other side of the Egypt, in Mediterranean, it has two important trade partners. One Phoenicians, second Greeks. Phoenicians, we know Phoenicians live in Syrian coast, and we know Phoenicians more than the Carthage. The most rich colony in Tunisia, and they legendary war with Romans, with Hannibal crossing the Alps to Italy. Greeks too, they built a lot of colonies all over the Mediterranean to ease trade. So when we say land trade, it's not easy. I mean, you need horses, camels, but they cannot travel long distances, especially food. In sea, it's easier, but in sea, there's another complication. That is, you need a lot of ports. Ships cannot just travel anywhere. They need ports to ports to take goods or sell their goods. But in earlier time, when early Greeks and Phoenicians, there was no infrastructure. They don't need to just build the ships, they need to build infrastructure. So, for instance, Greeks built a lot of colonies in Magna Graecia, we called, where, which is now South Italy. And they built small cities there, built ports, and eased trade with inside. They built ports in Spain, France, all over the African coast. With those colonies, they expanded trade, but there was one place out of picture yet, which is Black Sea. Greeks at first never went Black Sea because first of all there was no infrastructure, no city, no ports, and second there is no islands, no natural harbors, and there was violent storms. In earlier time, Greek ships were not ready for Black Sea trade, but later, in 6th century BC, Greeks improved their shipping abilities, and they started the trade with Black Sea coast. They started to build infrastructure in Trabzon, in Romania, in Crimea. They built a lot of ports all over the Black Sea. But most important one is in the gate of the Black Sea, which is what we call Istanbul, which Romans call Constantinopolis and Greeks call Byzantium. It was in entrance of the Black Sea. At first it was a small Greek colony, and over time it got richer because all the trade ships who pass from the Bosphorus need to pass near Byzantium, and Byzantium taxed them, all of them, which is but being a small city, time to time they invaded from Persians, Athenians, and even Spartans. Later they had agreement with Roman Empire, but when in civil war, when they support losing side, Romans conquered the city again, and that was start of the city of the Istanbul history.